I am super excited to be presenting our new version of Blue Sky Plan that includes completely automatic implant planning and completely automatic surgical guide design. Everything that you see here on the screen was completely designed automatically by the Blue Sky Plan software. The results of the plan are of course presented to the user. Everything can be reviewed and modified and confirmed, and once that is done, the surgical guide is fabricated simply by clicking on the next button. This premium automated release is engineered specifically for clinicians who export surgical guides, looking to save countless hours treatment planning while increasing surgical precision and the standard of patient care. In this training tutorial, I'll show you exactly how it works and how easy and quick it is to learn. So we're going to start on our home screen, select Implant Planning and Surgical Guides, and then choose the option for Automatic Implant Wizard. If you see this option, Automatic Implant Wizard, with the A for automation, you know you're using the correct version of the Blue Sky Plan software. So let's go ahead and click on that option. As usual, we're going to associate our plan to a particular patient, so we could choose from an existing patient simply by clicking, or by clicking New Patient. We could also use the search functionality to find the relevant patient. If we want to skip and not associate the patient, simply click Skip Patient. The relevant treatment, here we're dealing with an implant treatment, has been created automatically and can be edited by clicking on the pencil icon. We're going to select the relevant jaw, and now we're going to review and confirm the workflow settings on the right side of the screen. We're going to select the relevant implant company, drill kit, and implant system. Blue Sky Plan has over 80 different implant systems, and the one that you already use are in the drop-down menu. If you're using an implant system that's not in the drop-down menu and you'd like to download it, simply click the plus button, select the relevant system, click the download button, and you will have the implant company appear in your drop-down list. Once you've selected the implant company, confirm the drill kit and select the implant system. We of course highly recommend the use of the Blue Sky Bio implant systems. The software is designed by Blue Sky Bio, the implant systems are designed by Blue Sky Bio, and our guided surgical kits are designed by Blue Sky Bio. And when we're using an entire system designed, engineered, and manufactured by the same manufacturer, you get the perfect trifecta. And you can learn more about that at blueskybio.digital/trifecta. Okay, the options that we have here underneath the implant system is Add Trajectory Indicator, which we'll see is a yellow cylinder that projects from the implant to show the vertical axis of the implant. Automatically resolve collisions means if there's a collision between the software guide tube and the surgical guide with the optical scan, it will automatically adjust the drill report as well. Send to Lab Pronto is relevant currently in the United States only, so that after the design is complete, you could send for manufacturing via Lab Pronto with the click of a button. Extract Tooth is for an immediate extraction case. You could simply check the checkbox, enter the tooth number, and the software will automatically extract that tooth and plan an implant. Automatic CT segmentation, we highly recommend full segmentation of all the teeth and the jaws, so that's selected by default and should remain selected by default. If you're using an older computer and it's harder for it to process or it takes too long, you could switch to local segmentation, which will just segment the adjacent teeth for the osteotomy and the relevant area of bone. And you can also choose the option for none. You'll have less visibility in terms of what's available on the screen. You won't see the segmented teeth and the segmented jaws, but the automatic wizard will run. So I'm going to click Next after selecting the relevant options. The software will remember the last selected options from case to case. So just confirm them and then click Next. The software is now automatically prompting us to select the relevant CT scan. So navigate to location on your computer. You can use the shortcut buttons in the horizontal menu. Select relevant CT scan, compressed, uncompressed, zipped, unzipped. Go ahead and select that and then click on OK. The software is now automatically prompting us to select the relevant optical scans. The relevant jaw is required. We can see it has a red frame around it. So in our situation, we're going to left click once on the lower arch. It is recommended to import the opposing arch as well. As optional data, simply hold down the Shift key and then left click on the second file to multi-select, and you'll see that they're both selected. Once you've done that, go ahead and click on OK. If we want to adjust the CT scan by selecting the field of views or rotating, we have that option here. It's now available via Adjust CT Scan. We can see previews of the selected files that we've imported simply by toggling them on and off and rotating the files in the 3D view. Once we've confirmed that we've selected the relevant files, simply go ahead and click on Next. Now this is the part where the software runs and you could take a rest, or you could go see a patient, or you could get a cup of coffee. We're seeing the software going through processes automatically. We can see the software has successfully identified the nerves automatically. The software has successfully aligned the optical scan for the relevant arch to the CT scan and has aligned the opposing arch and occlusion to the relevant arch. The software is now running automatic CT teeth segmentation, so it's going tooth by tooth, and we'll segment them into STL files, the teeth with the roots. The software will also segment each individual jaw. Now we can see this is taking a couple of minutes as it is processing a lot of data to get to the results. So you can let it run. Depending on your computer speed, it might take longer or shorter, depending on if you've selected full segmentation, local, or none. I'm on a laptop. It takes me around 2 to 3 minutes generally for a case for the automatic segmentation to run. But what it is doing also, it's identifying the available space to place an implant. It's identifying the relevant size implant to place, and it is placing the implant in addition to placing and generating, we could see it's finished, in addition to placing and generating an AI tooth based on the patient's particular anatomy and adding everything to the scene. So this is the point where the clinician can review and modify as needed, and I'll explain how to do that. We have our 3D view and we have our various 2D views. So for example, the surgical guide curve on screen could just be grabbed and dragged. Any particular view of the 2Ds can be enlarged just by clicking the enlarge button on the top right of the view, and collapsed by clicking the same button. If we want to modify the implant placement, which of course should be reviewed very carefully, we could simply right click, unlock the implant, use the widget on screen to grab and drag. This is our tangential view, so you could rotate 360 degrees around the implant to review, confirm, and adjust the positioning accordingly. We could review the optical scan to CT alignment simply by looking at our axial slices, going through the different slices, and watching as we get closer to the occlusion that the outline of the model that's visible on screen should wrap tightly, as we see here, around the teeth. We can confirm as well the alignment of the optical scan to the CT scan by going around the arch and seeing again how the optical scan outline is wrapped tightly around the teeth. We have a list of the steps that the software ran automatically, so if there is an issue or you'd like to modify anything, you could simply click on the relevant step and you'll be taken to that step, and you could make any modifications that are necessary if they cannot be made directly on this screen. We could see, for example, that the nerve positioning can be adjusted directly from the screen as well. We can enlarge our panoramic view or a cross-section view, and we could grab and drag any of the relevant nodes if we want to refine the nerve detection placement. We also have the ability here to right-click on the background of the scene to toggle different surfaces on and off. We could hide our STL models, we could hide our crown, we could hide our guide window, which by the way is that box that showed up right here. This will indicate the location of the window that will be created in the surgical guide when we go ahead and click the next button. So we have our different visibility options right here that the user could toggle on and off. Once we've confirmed the implant placement, the surgical guide curve, the alignment of the optical scan to the CT scan, and everything else relevant, we could go ahead and simply click on next. We could see our surgical guide on screen. Once again, we have the different options to toggle on and off the different surfaces. We have different settings and preferences, which I'm not going to go into now, but you should know they exist in terms of the number of teeth that should be included in the surgical guide, in terms of the frequency of the window creation. So I'll go into that in a different tutorial, but you should know that the options exist. We can now simply click next. The software asks where you would like the relevant files to be saved, the case file, the STL file for the surgical guide, the drilling report. So let's create a new folder. Let's create a new folder on our desktop and call this export demo, and we'll have the relevant files saved here. The drilling report is created and opened automatically on screen. We can see the message that the treatment plan, the surgical guide, and the drilling report have been saved to the relevant folder. If we would have selected the option to send the surgical guide to manufacturing via Lab Pronto, a prescription form would have opened on screen automatically with the relevant files attached to it to send the surgical guide for manufacturing. If we go ahead and click on next, The Blue Sky Bio website will automatically be opened and the relevant parts will be added to the shopping cart. Based on the selections of the implants and the drill kit, the metal cylinder will automatically be selected and added to the cart. In our situation, we've used the Blue Sky Bio Biomax implant, again, highly recommended, and the fully guided, non-guided keyless kit. To remove anything from the shopping cart, simply click the red X, and once you've confirmed and added all your additional products, then simply click Update Part and go to Checkout. Otherwise, if it's not relevant, just go ahead and close the window or go back to the Blue Sky Plan software. And we can see the notification that your case is finished. Thank you for using the wizard. You could close the message or you could click Close the Wizard. And if you close the wizard, it loads your case in Blue Sky Plan in non-wizard mode for additional features, functionality, and capabilities if you choose to use them for your case. We could see that the drilling report, the surgical guide that's been exported, as well as the entire Blue Sky Plan file, has been saved to the folder that we created and designated on our desktop.